Welcome to the show, folks. Gregor here. This time, it's Armored Warfare. You know, the World of Tanks ripoff. I only say that in jest, because on the surface, this game is very similar to World of Tanks in various aspects, particularly much of its main mechanics. However, it's more complicated under a microscope, just like anything else. And opinions of this game may be skewed in certain aspects, given that only a certain number of people even have access to playtesting at the moment. Well, I'm not advertising the game, but if you're at all curious about the most recent phase of testing Armored Warfare has started up Early Access 4, this video will go over the main highlights of this wave of Early Access for you all, so you can get an idea of what to expect when you load it up. Or, if you're not in the Early Access wave, you might just be interested in seeing what the development team at Obsidian is up to. The gameplay hosted here comes from my time on the public test server released a few days before the Early Access servers launched for real. I tried to get gameplay with some of the newer vehicles that are coming, not quite able to get to the artillery or other classes, but perhaps that will come in the future. So right out of the gate, there have been several new vehicles that have been added to the game. 4 new main battle tanks, 3 of them being Soviet in design, the T-72A, the T-54, and the Object 430, added as a low-tier premium vehicle. The American M48 Patton, an earlier model of the M60 Patton, has been added as well. The T-72A bridges the gap in the Soviet main battle tank group at Tier 6. The T-54 and M48 have been added as low-tier equivalents to the Soviet and American battle tank groups at Tier 2. Another model of the Italian-made Centauro tank destroyer has been added, this time being the Centauro 120, fitted with a 120mm gun. Ferocious looking thing, huh? Better watch out. That gun's smoothbore, by the way. However, this is placed with the removal of the Centauro 155, which has been taken out for rebalancing. Still, the 120mm packs a serious punch. Some more quirky additions include the swift and deadly Big Light Panzer 57. This machine is quick and maintains great accuracy on the move, but its firepower is quite effective indeed, mounting a 57mm autocannon as well as a Tau launcher. Good gun depression allows it to crest hills and ridge lines, and quickly poke shots at unsuspecting opponents without having to overexpose itself. Lastly, an armored car is introduced. British in origin, the FV721 Fox. This machine is incredibly quick, and will function in the scout role nicely. It can operate effectively as a hunter of enemy light tanks and other scouts, with its powerful 30mm Rardin cannon, known for its use in reality on other British vehicles, such as the Warrior IFV and Scorpion tank. Now let's talk about mechanics. One of the biggest changes coming to Armored Warfare has to do with the artillery class, which will give them a great deal of tactical usage on the battlefield. Artillery is now able to make usage of support shells, 2 of them specifically. They are smoke shells, which can create a large amount of smoke that's capable of breaking the enemy's line of sight, and illumination shells, which can spot enemies for 10 seconds within a 30-meter radius of detonation. Smoke shells are available to all artillery tiers, while illumination shells are only available to tiers 6 and above. This certainly adds a great deal of flexibility in terms of artillery's usage, and is certainly a departure from the model that World of Tanks uses for artillery. I always found the main role of arty in World of Tanks to be rather strange, because even people from wargaming themselves have stated in various instances that it's basically supposed to be a long-range sniper. So the obvious counterbalance to the metric ton of damage they can do is their long reload times. But I still think that sort of detracts from the practical function of artillery as it existed in real life, and I think that would be much more interesting in itself. Self-propelled guns are support vehicles by nature, but they're certainly not snipers. They're usually meant to saturate an area of fire with a great deal of shells. Artillery in Armored Warfare, while still generally subject to longer reload times than other classes, doesn't have the same absurdly large aiming circles and reload times of World of Tanks, and barrage artillery in the form of autoloaders is common. With the existing dynamic between high explosive rounds and armor being prevalent, damage from these machines is just as much as any other tank, but a great deal of tactical flexibility is attained. These vehicles can provide cover for pushes from afar, or alert their teammates to incoming attacks from flanks. I'm eager to see how crafty players will take advantage of artillery in the next focus test. Another big addition to the game is the Retrofit System, which is similar to the way equipment slots work in World of Tanks. The main purpose of the Retrofit System is to provide players a means to customize their vehicle and ways to better suit their own style of play, up to a certain point. 5 types of retrofit types exist that can be equipped on a given vehicle, and each vehicle has a certain number of retrofit slots. Additional slots can be added through progressing with the vehicle in question. The 5 retrofit slots are Firepower, Armor, Mobility, Technology, and Universal. They all encompass upgrades that you can imagine: better base accuracy, more hit points, etc. but the interesting thing to note is the universal slot. Whereas firepower slots can only use firepower upgrades, and armor slots can only use armor upgrades, and so on, universal slots can use any kind of retrofit. This adds another degree of customization to your vehicle and will allow players to potentially allow their vehicles to perform in unique ways that could not be achievable without these slots. In addition, each upgrade has its own set of schematics that can be researched through usage of them on a vehicle. The upgrades can offer different statistics than the base statistics, or just simply raise numbers of existing statistics. Alongside these major additions comes a plethora of new PvE missions, an increase in PvE rewards, graphics optimizations, rebalances, maps, and bug fixes. You can read the full list of changes in the link provided in the description. The focus test will start today and go on till August 30th, with servers available 24/7. So what's the first thing you're going to try out in early access? Me personally? I'm eager to see the added support functionality artillery now gets. But don't forget that this is all still in testing phases, and what we see now may be very different from the final release. Thanks for watching, and if you want more Armored Warfare content, be sure to subscribe. My name's Gregor Havener, and thanks again for watching.